Well, of course, our core project, traditionally and today, has been the reunification of this island, creating a united and independent Ireland, or an Irish national democracy. And so today is about giving a focus to that. How do we make that happen in the context of the gains that the party has made recently in electoral terms? How do we make it relevant to what we're doing in the Assembly, on councils, in the north, in the south? How do we actually make real the concept of a united and independent Ireland? We now know division is bad for Belfast, and if division is bad for Belfast and cost, then division is bad for the 6 counties, division is bad for the island. It costs to have a separation, a notional line across the island of Ireland that separates us. It costs in terms of democracy, it costs in terms of finance, it costs in terms of resource, and what we have to do is to actually get those arguments and then to actually highlight the cost and to talk about what the benefits of United Ireland are, why it's a better model than we already have today. And so today is a part of actually trying to give a focus to all of that. We're here in the Balmoral. There's going to be an introductory speech, then we'll break up into workshops, and what we're really looking for is ideas to how do party members think we should progress a United Ireland agenda.
Part of the objective of today is about building or strengthening actually our critical mass of support with respect to moving towards unity. So today we're looking at things like internal political engagement, the ways in which we need to engage with our own activists and the discussions that we need to have internally, so that unity becomes a reality and so that we discuss unity in a way that is achievable, because at certain times there can be a mythology that's sort of projected around, that partition is as far as it goes, and we know different. And I suppose it's about making sure that everyone is in a place to challenge that mythology and feels confident, and is thinking about what the benefits of a new Ireland is. Sometimes in the context of these debates, there's a move to hold us back by drawing attention to what the negative elements are within the north and within the 26 counties. And I suppose part of today is looking at what a new Ireland can be and how that's going to be distinctly different to either of those legislative areas. So that's some of the things that we're talking about today.
Well, it's been a very interesting event today, and I know events like this are taking place throughout the country, and people are being given the chance to talk about how we're going to reach our goal of a united Ireland. And workshops like this are vital to plot out a way towards that. And the arguments that have been coming up today are similar arguments that I have heard before. The big argument is the economic argument. Is it viable to have a unitary state on this island, given that the British government are said to be pumping £18 billion a year into here? And as we drill down into those figures, we're finding out that actually that figure isn't the true figure. The people here pay taxes, they pay VAT, there's corporation taxes, all of those taxes that are going back into the British Exchequer, and it's revealing that the British Exchequer isn't prepared to give us the precise figures of how much they're taking out of here. And the economic argument is a very important argument, and I think it's one that as time goes on we will develop, and it's the argument not only to convince Unionists but also to convince other nationalists as well that it's in their economic best interests to be in a united Ireland. Our constituency offices every day of the week deal with issues in Unionist areas. In West Belfast, for example, we have people coming through the doors of our constituency office and phoning our constituency offices every day of the week. They feel, and this is a theme that's coming through from the people who come to our offices, that no one in the Unionist community is giving them the leadership that they need and they deserve, and that's why they're coming to Sinn Fein.
I think the important point is the very fact that we're having these engagements. I think that's key. This is at the core of everything that Sinn Fein activists and Republican activists across the island are involved in, whether it's in Leinster House, in local councils, whether it's in the Assembly, or indeed in Europe. So it's a good opportunity for activists to come together to raise concerns, to raise criticisms if that's what they feel they need to do, but also recognise where the party is strong, where the party is going well, and obviously, as I said earlier, everything that we do is about that ultimate objective of a united Ireland. And it's not just about the big ideological arguments, but getting into the nitty-gritty of what a united Ireland looks like. And that's not just telling our Unionist neighbours or indeed the new Irish what a united Ireland will look like, but also talking among ourselves what kind of Ireland we want to create. So this isn't about the sort of, lackadaisical stroking of a beard, big theological, ideological sort of, philosophical stuff. This is about we're on the road to united Ireland, and this is what we want our united Ireland to look like, and that's why we're about building political strength. That's why we're about increasing mandates in Leinster House, increasing mandates in the Assembly and across local government on the island. That's why we're about taking the kind of initiatives that we took last week about committing our MPs into their constituencies, working for people on the ground, working for Unionist neighbourhoods as much as nationalist neighbourhoods, and setting about the work that we're involved in right across the board in achieving a united Ireland.
I think, there's optimism and eagerness in the room this morning, I think, but what the debate has done today is actually the focus activists who are certainly here in Belfast. They actually have a new, renewed focus in terms of what the All-Ireland project actually means. So it's our day-to-day work, whether it's in communities, council, the Assembly, is around actually changing that focus to nation building and what are the steps that we need to do to achieve nation building. It's around looking at the actual border. How do you make the border irrelevant? So what's the cross-border and all-Ireland services that we could be looking at, whether it's education and health? Because obviously the economic argument would say that it's more effective if it's done on an all-island basis. I think it's actually looking at border communities again, and particularly the European investment over the next 10 years. What actual investment can we bring in, to make the border irrelevant? I think as well in terms of what we're doing in council, our outreach with unionism, loyalism and even broader nationalism around the whole economic arguments of partition and actually removing that argument from them. And I think for us it is around convincing them that nation building is the way forward, and it's about the type of Ireland that we want, because that's a conversation for us here today. It's about transforming communities, it's about transforming the society and the economic agenda that is on both sides of the border, and how we want to create a new Ireland based on equality.
I thought today was very interesting. There was a lot of things on the table there for discussion today, the economics, not just for the north but for the south, our outreach of how we reach out to Unionists, and also how we reach out to our young people as well, both north and south, how we have a strategic plan and how we implement that and make that open for everybody to get involved and for everybody to work towards a united Ireland.
Well, today is the start of a process, and this process will be 6 county wide in terms of having that internal debate, that internal discussion, to designate ideas, suggestions, some concrete proposals to allow us to develop programmes of work for all activists, whether it's at council level, assembly level, within the new PCSPs which are just emerging now, and obviously within the party structures, of that debate about the political imperative and our primary objective of united Ireland. Can we develop a strategy which will take us towards that goal, and how do we affect that? Can we identify the barriers, and how do we neutralise the barriers, etc. So it's a very important debate, a very important discussion, which I said has been held right across the 6 counties. For example, comrades are meeting today as we talk here. There'll be other meetings next Saturday, etc. And it just doesn't stop at these events. It has to continue. It has to be mainstream within the party because of the political imperative, etc.
I think today's and our own workshop was very positive. Many people in it, from teenagers right through to pensioners, and I think that they have all committed to deliver United Ireland, and I think that's very, very important. People have been involved in it for a very long time, and others are just coming to that stage because as they're teenagers. But the big thing for us all is that people want to see this happen. People want to make it happen, and they're asking the question, how do they make it happen? I think and turn that into a reality, which is an important point for us all. I mean, we look through our own constituency offices, and some of the figures was coming out today from some of our activists. Some of our offices, even in the Falls Road, some 30 to 35% are people from Mashangle Road coming in seeking advice from our elected representatives. And I know my own office, we deal with somewhere in the region of 60% of the constituents coming in from Mashangle on a weekly basis as well. So I think there's good signs for it. People are up for the challenge, and it is a challenge, and let's be honest about it. But we have to put pressure on the Irish government and on the British government to make sure that we continue to drive forward our All-Ireland agenda, because it's very important for us. Many of us joined the party to deliver an All-Ireland. That's what we're about, and that's what we are going to achieve.